Hello, this is Jonathan McCraw. I am a graduate student at Queen's University of Charlotte. I'm in the Master's in Communications program there. And I'm going to spend just a couple of minutes talking about multitasking and the effects it has on persuasion and comprehension. Now, I picked this article because this topic, frankly, is very interesting to me. So I think multitasking is really one of the toughest challenges we face today in the world of communications. Whereas 25, 30 years ago, the bigger challenge was trying to figure out where to go to get information. Our big challenge today is knowing how to manage all the information that comes flooding at us every day. So as part of this activity, I'll spend just a few minutes summarizing some prior research that our authors referenced in their 2012 article that appeared in the Journal of Communications. And the article is, Does Multitasking Increase or Decrease Persuasion? Effects of Multitasking on Comprehension and Counter-Arguing. The interesting thing to start off the article, the authors did not include a baseline definition of multitasking. So I think we're probably at a point in society where most of us know what multitasking means, but it was a little bit surprising in an academic article that there was at least an initial baseline definition provided. But what they did do, sort of from an overall broad perspective, is first reference how many or what frequency individuals multitask. And secondly, they provided two different types of multitasking to give as examples. So just in terms of frequency, no big surprise here. 90% of individuals in the US say they multitask. An interesting follow-on question would have been, of those 90%, how many of them were multitasking at the time they took the survey? But unfortunately, the authors didn't include that. And so we'll never quite know. So just in terms of types of multitasking, so you've got media multitasking and multitasking with multiple media. So kind of a couple of tongue twisters there. But ultimately, media multitasking really is sort of the traditional view. So we've been doing that for longer. So that's good examples there are watching television while preparing dinner, doing homework while searching the internet. So this is sort of the single device paired with a non-media activity. Checking your smartphone while you're walking your dog. This is one that has been around for a while. The second form here, multitasking with multiple media, is probably a bit newer. And it's just like it sounds. So think multiple forms of media at the same time. So I'm watching television while searching the internet. I'm reading an email while texting. I've got my phone up while I'm doing any countless number of activities that involve other forms of media. So this is what's really exploded over the last 10 years or so as smartphones have become so much more accessible, and tablets and other devices. Watches will probably soon make a big splash there as well. So really just having information portals at every possible view is just it poses some interesting challenges from a multitasking perspective. Now that we've talked a little bit about how frequently we multitask and what two common types of multitasking are, I want to spend just a moment talking about one of the questions that's very important to both of our authors, and that's what impact multitasking has on the persuasive effects of media. So as part of their literature review, they found some conflicting findings. So first, multitasking can reduce the persuasive effects of media because it reduces the attention and comprehension we have whenever we're viewing the content. But by the same token, it can increase message acceptance because it suppresses our ability to counter-argue. So not surprising there, if we've got a couple of devices going and we're bouncing back and forth and we're really just focused on trying to retain as much as we can between those multiple sources, our ability to think critically slides down the scale a little bit and isn't as much of an area of focus for our brain as it would be if we were just singularly focused on one form of media. The authors also found two factors that may influence the level of impact that multitasking has. So number one, whether the intent of the media message is to inform or to persuade. And secondly, whether the medium focus is primary or secondary. And this gets into the whole concept of, if I've got multiple devices going at the same time, I still have one that's my primary. So if I've got my laptop going, I'm doing an assignment, and I want to check something else but don't want to toggle in between screens, I'll pick up my smartphone and maybe check the score of the game or something else along those lines. And it presupposes that that primary media form of media is where more of our focus is dedicated. So what the authors wanted to really do as part of their research is to take the research that had been done previously, to take the findings from the prior research and really push that forward. They wanted to take a look at non-multitasking. So what was sort of the baseline whenever there is no multitasking and full attention is paid to the message. Then they wanted to look at multitasking where primary attention is paid to the message. And then third, they wanted to look at multitasking with a secondary attention being paid to the message. So with that second or third or fourth device. So that leads them to their two key hypotheses. First, that multitasking does reduce comprehension. And secondly, that multitasking suppresses counter-arguing. And I could share the findings with you right now, but that would save you the fun from reading the article. So I would encourage you to go back and read that article and enjoy. So that wraps up our quick run through of this particular article. I've got a number of references listed here. I think our authors listed probably 3 or 4 times this many sources. But I think with the examples we have here, we were able to clearly summarize the key points in the literature review section of this article. Thank you for your time.